And we're live.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Building Your Brand Within Your Community. I'm Dr. Alan Weinstein with my co-host, Dr. Randi Ross. Today's episode is brought to you by the William David Company, Rethinking Small Business Marketing. Visit www.williamdavidcompany.com. And Community Wellness Day. Every great opportunity begins with the first step. Take that step with Community Wellness Day. The System, the official marketing program for healthcare practitioners everywhere. And, of course, the VIP app, the only application that allows you to bring your live hangouts, just like this one, to the desktop, iPhone, iPads, and Samsung devices. Our apps look so good, people are going to want to lick them. And, of course, Google in 10 minutes, a step-by-step guide for all things Google for your business. Simply visit tinyurl.com/Google in 10. Today's episode, The Business of Healthcare with Dr. Mark Mandel. Dr. Mark Mandel is a third-generation chiropractor and the sixth one in his family to practice chiropractic before turning his focus on the business aspect of healthcare. He consulted with healthcare companies and small businesses, resulting in a 36% growth from 96% of his clients. And while on the leadership team of Foot Levelers, he built a team that doubled the company in 3 years. Dr. Mandel also launched a national medical supply company called the Vital Health Depot and is now driving the exciting growth in postgraduate education at Parker University as executive director of Parker Professional. He also served as chairman of the 1994 World Cup opening ceremony medical staff, authored 2 books called Spark Your Sales and Answering the Megaphone, and opened one of the first prototype clinics in a veterans care facility. Dr. Mandel focuses on taking people from the ordinary to the extraordinary through major shifts in perception and motivation. With that, let me turn it over to our host today, Dr. Randi Ross.
Well, thank you, Dr. Allen. You always do a wonderful job with our sponsors and our intro. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. And always remember to let us know if you're watching this anywhere other than in your VIP app, to make sure to let us know where you're hanging out from. I am hanging out from what actually is today the beautiful New Jersey shore. Dr. Allen joins us from the Berkshire Mountains, which I'm hoping for his sake so he can get a little motorcycle ride in today, is also having a good day. But we have what's an exciting guest for me today, and kind of a rarity. You know, we often, because of Dr. Allen and my background, we often have people within healthcare and even specifically within chiropractic. And a lot of people are amazing business people that help take health professionals, take their business where it needs to be and give them that support and that structure to be a good business person, which isn't something that we often come out of school with. But today's guest is really interesting because he actually has an MBA and he took his healthcare knowledge and he took it to a whole nother level by going back to school and getting that knowledge and that information, and then came back and used it to help people within the chiropractic profession. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Dr. Mark Mandel. Welcome, Mark. How are you today?
I am feeling terrific, and it's nice to be called Dr. Mandel. I've been hanging with my family on vacation for the last week, and I'm often introduced as my kid's parents' dad, and my son goes by the nickname J Money. So people keep going up and going, Mr. Money, how are you? No, it's Dr. Mandel or Mark. So
that's not a bad thing. Well, tell us, I want to give you kind of a little version of what made you decide, after going through the efforts of becoming a chiropractor, what made you say, hey, you know what? I think I want an MBA.
Boy, life is a journey, and you're never really sure where you're going to end up once you embark on that journey. But like a lot of chiropractors, when you're dealing with patients and you go beyond the healthcare talks that you have one-on-one or the group healthcare talks, I was in a very white-collar town when I worked in New Jersey. We had a lot of folks who took trains in early morning into New York City, so we started seeing patients at 7 o'clock, and we were busy about 5:30, 6 o'clock again when they would come back home, and we'd start seeing it's called the commuter crowd. A lot of them worked on Wall Street or in Madison Avenue. So this group always had business on their mind. And besides the healthcare talks, was on their mind going to work or coming back from work was a lot of business stuff. Those conversations, after we covered their healthcare needs and their spinal care needs and their chiropractic care information, they never really turned to business. I've always been interested in the art and the science of not just making money, but giving value. So when the opportunity came to think, how do I grow myself and beyond, I wanted to open up 100 offices. And I knew that just having the chiropractic healthcare training did not necessarily make me a great business person, but I had to go on for the additional knowledge. And it became very exciting. It opened up a whole new world of thought process and strategy planning, conceptual thinking. I probably went in just to have the MBA and understand accounting and finance and management stuff, but what you really walked out of was a whole new way to think and to look at the business as you're running it, and all the parameters to engage people, that it's not just the financial aspect, but really a people aspect.
And I think that's a really good point, and something that is really kind of current for me these days that you said. I just recently started working with a new business coach, and one of the things I noticed after 25 years of doing, whether it's being in practice or being in business, we need to always take a step back and kind of look at our business differently. And I think that's one of the things that you mentioned and you bring to the table that I think most, whether they're healthcare providers or other small business owners that are our viewers, that, what is it that you think are some of the most important parameters that most people don't know, that don't have your education, about how they should look at their business differently, especially when we're talking about healthcare providers, and as you stated, they'll come out of school with very little business education. Oh, I have to unmute Mark. Okay, Dr.
Yeah, he's going to need to unmute himself. At the top of your screen, Mark, is there, if you put your mouse over the hangout, you'll see an icon for a microphone. You already got it. There you go, Mark. Oh. He just muted himself again.
I'm good.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
All right. So, Dr. Randi, the question again was, what are the aspects that people don't think about in running a business? That's some of the stuff that I picked up. And more importantly is the length of time that you think about. Oftentimes in business, we're thinking about what's going to happen today in terms of sales, or next week, or next month, or maybe some small business owners think in terms of a 90-day period. But a lot of business planning and strategy occurs over a year, 2 years, sometimes 5 years in some of those elements. And to plan strategically, what really occurs today is people management. And the art and science of running a successful business is how you can motivate, inspire, and fully engage and educate people. When I was working as a consultant, some of the businesses would say, what can we do today to boost our sales in 30 days? I said, it doesn't even take 30 days. What it can take is 30 seconds. If you walk outside, hold a $100 bill up in front of all your salespeople and all your marketing people and say, what can we do right now that I can give away the $100 to the next person who makes a sale? And you inject energy, and it's a whole different vibration set when people are functioning at an exciting energy level. Sometimes it's money as a short-term incentive, but oftentimes it's, do people see the bigger picture? Are they fully engaged that they're not just providing a business for a dollar, but do they really understand that they're making changes in people's lives? And whether that's in a chiropractic healthcare office, whether it's a doctor's office, whether it's a shoemaking business, a clothing business, or whatever small business you're in, it's the elements of, does your entire company, do they understand the bigger impact of what they're doing? And oftentimes the leader, the CEO, the owner, the president of the company helps set that framework, and that fully engages people to recognize that what they're doing is bigger about themselves. It's bigger about a dollar. And the folks that really get that run phenomenal businesses with fully engaged, happy, excited people as well as customers. And that's a fun place to work.
And let me ask you something else. What do you think? Because you have a lot of experience, obviously. What do you think are the biggest mistakes that people make that really get in their way of having the success that they want?
The number one thing is fear. People have a variety of fears. They have fear of failing, so they don't want to step up to the plate and try something new because they fear they're going to, oh, I might not work. Well, in an entrepreneurial world, in a small business world, a lot of things that you do are not going to work. In fact, most venture capitalists are going to invest in companies and know that 90% of the companies that they vet, that they inspect and review and make every plan for, 90% of those companies will fail. But it's the 10% that are going to succeed. So if you look at some of the ideas that you're going to put forth, test. Don't go all in and bet the whole big pot in your business, but go in and test in different areas and say, this is working, this is viability, this one, we're going to throw this one out. Work with the ones that are getting good traction and work with those programs. It's okay to fail because failing is part of a step-by-step process to learning. And as the saying goes, experience is what you get when you didn't get what you want. Failing is part of learning the experience. Becoming a failure is when you don't get up from being knocked down, is when you give up. So the biggest encouragement I can provide is go ahead and fail, because that's how you're going to have a step-by-step process. There's not any successful person in business anywhere that never failed. It's part of breaking through those barriers that are going to define key leaders, key success people, and true winners in the world.
That's so true. One of my favorite lines that we say around here that I think my daughter gets nauseous every time I say it at this point is, if you don't ask, they can't say yes. So, actually a Texas billionaire taught me that. So when he was teaching us follow-up, nobody wants to make the phone call because they're all afraid that someone's going to say no, and he stood up on a stage with this big heavy accent and he's like, if you don't ask, they can't say yes, So that always resonates with me. And tell us, tell me also, something that I think is interesting what you do when you're dealing with healthcare providers today, and it's such an ever-changing business model. What do you think the things are that people can do so that they're trying to think of the right way to ask this, so that they're always prepared for change? You have to be flexible in business. And something that worked for maybe the last 5 years, like you said, you put effort into it, it was successful, you got sales or patients or whatever it is, and all of a sudden there's just some different trends or business takes a turn. And how do you keep yourself flexible so that you can, keep moving along?
You almost need to read the tea leaves, so to speak, of what's going on in healthcare. But it is evolving, and it's evolving way faster, and certainly with Obamacare is going to become massively different than it ever was before. I go back to when my grandfather and great uncles practiced chiropractic, in some cases before it was even licensed in some states. It was an all-cash practice. In fact, my grandfather had a black box. You just put the money in the black box after the adjustment, and he didn't care what you paid. It's called, but the patient records was one index card. It had an entire calendar. If you came in on a day, he put a slash through it, and if you paid, it was an X, and that was all you needed. Go to when my father practiced. I know we all would love to have that. Go back to when my father practiced, and it was a more standard SOAP note process of the what the patient's subjectively complaining of, what the objective findings are from the doctor, what the A is the assessment, and then P is the plan. So you put all that together. What has evolved now is you need to have long-term care plans. You need to track patients' progress, have measured outcomes, and watch and see the improvements of patients if you're going through the insurance route. And then there's other package plans where you may say, hey, we're going to package something as a cash plan, but you need to evolve of how you're working. And truly, Randy, is what you said, what worked 5 years ago is not going to work today. And to be in close contact with your staff that's working with the insurance plans to have a pulse of what's going on, be a member of your state association, be a member of your national association so you can stay informed. Find a coach who's working with dozens or hundreds of other offices so they can spot trends and share those trends with you so you can stay on top of what really is working and where the market is moving towards. And again, you're going to test some things. So you're going to go out and test, okay, I'm going to try recruitment in maybe workers' comp or maybe personal injury or maybe traditional health care, or I'm going to try and go after family care or sports care. But you're going to test a couple different things and find what works and what's singing and what really makes you happy in practice, as with any business, and then load up. So when you find a couple opportunities, go after that whole hog. And that's going to be, you'll know it when you see it, so to speak.
And that was actually my next question. If you're testing models, how long do you stay in that game to know that this isn't the right thing, or I just getting out too soon before, I find the diamond in the rough?
It depends on the resources, or better word, I'd say your resourcefulness. We don't have unlimited resources. You don't have that much time. I know a lot of chiropractors will say take an opportunity to promote their practice, or a lot of businesses will promote on social media because it's a lot lower cost than buying print ads or billboards or sending out flyers. But there is a cost, and that cost is your time. And we have a limited block of time. We have 24 hours in a day. So how do you want to best spend your time, which is a very important resource, versus your money? And at some point you're going to say, this is where I want to be busy. This is where I want to invest my time. This is where I want to invest my resources. This is where I want to invest my staff's time, because it's getting the best return. If you have a large stockpile of time, which when you're starting a business, you have a lot of free time because you're not, you have a lot of customers coming in, calling, walking in to the front door. So you have time. You can invest that time into social media, into lower cost opportunities. But once you are in an active business model, you want to, instead of just investing your time, you want to start investing your money in resources, whether that be contracting with services to promote you through social media, through other marketing techniques, direct mail, marketing, new patient acquisition services. There's lots of ways that you can make and value both your money and your time. It depends on the different stage you're at. So your stomach is how long you can stomach the investment of the time and resources before you see a payoff. In today's internet, you will know if something is working online within a day, sometimes within an hour. Though maybe you want to give it a chance of a week or so to see if it garners the response, not just that you have an increased liking on your Facebook page, or you got a lot of Twitter followers. You want to know, is it actually translating into dollars? Because that's real time. So I'd say if it's in the internet, you would know if you're getting a response rate within a very short time frame of maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, whereas some of your more traditional marketing techniques would have a longer time frame to get a better response.
Well, and you kind of opened this door, and I know, Dr. Allen, I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm going to say, because we're live and because someone just pulled up, my dogs might go crazy, and if they are, I'll have to mute myself out. So I do want to address what you just said about the internet, but I want to address something more important, I think, because we have such limited time. And my experience with healthcare providers is, one, and I want you to address this, I'm going to give you a number of things in case I have to mute out.
Okay.
Number one is a lot of doctors don't even realize they have a business. They don't even treat it as a business. And as a consequence, it's hard to plan as a business if you haven't recognized that it really is a business. The second point is that when I speak to doctors, I also am fortunate enough to spend separate time with the staff. And a lot of times, the staff doesn't even understand what the brand of the practice is, what the practice is all about, how the doctor sees what that is, so they can't communicate that to the staff, so to the patients, and so ultimately, give us a sense, if you don't mind, how does you take a doctor, and I know you've worked with a lot of these small businesses, how do you make them recognize, one, this is a business, which means you have to treat it as a business. Number two, what are the steps that you used to be able to get the doctor to convey to the people that work for them what is their business model, what is their mission, what is their brand, so that they could then go out and help, with the patients and educate them.
Excellent questions, Dr. Allen. The very first thing that we do with Parker seminars is grow the doctor. Because the doctor becomes the rate-limiting growth factor of any business. Same way that the president or the owner or the CEO of any company is going to be the rate-limiting factor. It's their own fears are going to hold them back. It's not, we talked about the fear of failure earlier, but it's also the fear of success. Some people truly have a fear of success. Some people have a fear of money, that they think that it's evil to make money. It's not. You provide a valuable service and people will compensate you. In the old days, they compensate you with chickens and buckets of fruits and vegetables or seafood. But now it's money. It's a lot easier to cart around money. So once we work on the headspace of the business owner to recognize why are they not doing certain things, or why are they doing certain things? Are they in a comfort zone? And where people sit in a comfort zone, they don't grow. That's like a death zone, because you're not going to stretch yourself. You feel no reason to grow. I'm making enough money. I have enough time. But that comfort zone is what kills businesses, because you're not looking over your shoulder. You're not looking around the corner for opportunities. You're not engaging your staff. And everybody goes into comfort mode, which becomes lazy mode pretty quickly. And that will smother the innovation. So truly what you want to do when you encourage a business is to encourage not just the innovation of the chief, but to encourage the entire tribe to innovate and to get everybody on the same vibrational concept and waveform to say, this is where we're headed, let's go in this direction. So I start with the head space and the heart space of the business owner and the clinician, and then move into growing the practice secondary. Because we all know what to do. There is no secret to losing weight. Everybody knows you eat less and exercise more, or one or the other. But how many people are overweight? It's not didactically. We all know what to do. It's why do so many people not eat right? Why do so many people not exercise? And the reality is they're not motivated. They're sitting in this comfort zone of, well, it's okay, I can do it later, or maybe a denial that they don't want to accept and really be honest with themselves that they are overweight and how they look and how they feel and how their arteries are clogged. So they live in a state of denial. That very first thing is to recognize, leave your comfort zone. It's a little scary, but the results when you do that are enormous, because it gives you the opportunity. You grow when you're uncomfortable, because you have to move out of that uncomfortable zone to find yourself, and that's what drives people. And everyone says, I want to grow, I want to prosper, I want to change, I want to innovate, I grow. But in reality, it's a much harder process than people recognize, but even more rewarding than they understand, because it's not just having more financial resources that you end up with, it's this enormous personal pride that you overcame a hurdle. And that's why there are so many ropes courses that will challenge somebody physically or emotionally to climb up a rope, or climb up a rock wall, or to climb up a pole and make a leap, because it teaches you how to challenge and overcome those fears, whether it's a fear of heights, but also to try and translate that overcoming of fears into overcoming those fears within yourself. To say, it's okay that I'm going to go out and be honest and tell the truth to you about what chiropractic can do. I'm going to tell the truth to you about the value of my businesses and how I can change your lives. Oftentimes we fear that rejection, but it's not. We're withholding. We're actually, by not telling the truth about chiropractic, by not telling the truth of the value of our services, we're doing that person a huge disservice, and we're withholding information, and that really breaks our duty as a healthcare provider. So we have to stand up and feel confident about the information that we have and know how much we can help them. That changes everything.
Well, and I want to kind of confirm what you said that I found over the years when we do Community Wellness Day, and a lot of that started initially. I'm just going to mute you, Mark, because I'm hearing reverb. Started initially with chiropractors, And it was really interesting how the steps and the strategies that we were teaching them to be a part of the community and engage others to be a part of this event, and in the process build relationships, how uncomfortable people were with telling them, you know, you're going to contact your local politician or your business owner or the superintendent of your schools. And I work with people that you know, seasoned professionals in practice, 10, 20 years, and they were so uncomfortable with the thought of doing that, and how far it was pushing them outside of their comfort zone. But the great thing is that when the ones that listened and do it have amazing results and have enormous growth personally in their business, and really see that. And this is what I always say: when you're talking with people and dealing with people or asking for something, more people will say yes than will ever say no. And that's always a surprise to people. And I think we just assume because someone's a professional or a business owner that they're not uncomfortable dealing with people, when in essence, like you said, you know, they've kind of painted themselves into this corner or put themselves in this box where they feel okay and everything's going all right. And then when they want to go beyond that, it's really a bit of a challenge. And that's one of the things that I love about doing Community Wellness Day with people, and really teaching them, you know, that aspect of getting out there. So that is really, you know, so important for people to understand. And whether you can do it on your own or through a program like ours, or as Mark said, with a business coach or a practice coach, a lot of people kind of need that push and someone to give them direction and to not let them, you know, back down, and just kind of help them along. Well, Mark, you have to unmute yourself because I had muted you because we're getting a little bit of reverb. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to have a few closing thoughts for us, and also I definitely want to have you back because I actually have this really long list of questions for you that we didn't get to. So hopefully after Labor Day, when we gear up, we'll be able to get you back. And while you talk, I'm going to actually have Dr. Allen show a slide for one of your upcoming conferences.
Listen, we have a great responsibility as the third largest healthcare provider in America. We really have a responsibility to drive and lead the natural healthcare revolution that's going on. And it's not going to happen sitting in our office. We really have to come together at big events. And Parker Seminars is the leader in running great events that really help you grow yourself and grow your practice, and particularly in that order. All of our events are specifically designed to walk you through some of the headspace and opportunities to change and go to that next step, and then provide you and your staff all the tools necessary to change and to take the office to the next level. We have to do that in the right order. So our next event is going to be in Dallas, October 29th through the 31st. We'd love to have you come here. And then the big event, the grand national event, where we get thousands of attendees, is going to be in Parker, Vegas, January 14th through the 17th. And information can be had at parkerseminars.com or theparkerexperience.com. And we've evolved to become the Parker Experience now, because we are offering everything that starts not just at the weekend, but we have a whole online program. We have a new Parker Seminars mobile app. We have online CE classes that you can take both live and online when you register with your seminar event. We're really engaging folks weeks before and weeks after the individual event, so it's no longer a convention or seminar program. It's now a much bigger experience. It allows you to connect with all your chiropractic brothers and sisters, some of the greatest leaders and systems, and obviously the tremendous vendors and sponsors who support the event as well. So we're doing everything we can to help you grow your community in the field of chiropractic and help transform us from an 8% utilization rate of the population to really where it should be in the double digits. So let's go from 30 million Americans who use chiropractic to drive it up to 100 million, and imagine what we can do and what we can transform in this great country of ours with those kinds of numbers. It would be a huge statement to drive forward lowering healthcare costs, providing natural healthcare, helping people lose weight, helping people to live to their full genetic potential, simply starting with a chiropractic adjustment. And that is life-changing.
All right. Well, That pretty much says it all. I can't nothing to follow after that. But we're going to mute Dr. Mark because he's giving us reverb today. And we're going to turn it back to Dr. Allen in just 1 second as he gets ready to close out our show with our sponsors. But I want to thank everyone for being here today. Great event. Make sure to watch all of the ways that you find out about these events, whether it's on Google or on Facebook or through our connection, our email systems, our website, and our VIP apps. Make sure you download our VIP apps so you don't miss any events. But we're going to make sure to twist Dr. Mandel's arm and get him back again. Well, Dr. Allen, I am throwing it to you to close us out.
Okay, you've been listening to Building Your Brand Within Your Community. Today's episode was brought to you by the William David Company, Rethinking Small Business Marketing, and Community Wellness Day. Every great opportunity begins with the first step. Take that step with Community Wellness Day, the system, the official marketing program for healthcare professionals everywhere. The VIP app, the only application that allows you to bring your live hangouts just like this one to the iPhone, iPad, Samsung, and desktops of all those people that have you in their circle. And of course, Google in 10 minutes, a step-by-step guide for all things Google for your business. On behalf of myself, Dr. Alan Weinstein, my co-host, Dr. Randi Ross, and our great guest, Dr. Mark Mandel, we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day, everybody.